welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night. We are broadcasting live here on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I am your host, Don Yazzie, and with me, my co-host, Darren Yazzie. And if you stayed after Sean Kelly's Into the Night, welcome and thank you. Thanks to the Codega, Rye, for that fire intro. And here's Darren right here.
Yo, hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, you gotta be thankful for Codex of Curiosities. I still get chills every time I watch that intro. Really good, really good.
Yeah, after he made it, I was like, man, okay, we feel a little bit more like a podcast now.
Right. It's amazing. It's amazing intro and outro too. So.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yep. And yeah, we're just waiting for Rye. He'll arrive when he arrives. And speaking of, here he is. Without further ado, let's bring on the Codega himself.
Gentlemen,
hey, what's going on, Ryan?
Not much. Thank you for having me
on. You on the podcast. Oh yeah. Hey. Well, it's an honor. It's an honor. And thanks for the intro. Like what Don was saying, makes us feel more like a natural podcast going on right now. And that's the intro is just straight fire. You give me chills every time you listen to it every Sunday. So
you guys are an actual podcast. I actually love your guys' show. I think it's fantastic, and I think you filled a niche that was needed. And you guys filled that, and you guys do a fantastic job too. And not only that, you guys have great stories yourselves. I had you both on, and it's been great. And like I think I asked you guys already to. I want you both to come on at the same time now, so we'll kind of like do a flip of what we're doing right here.
All right.
Oh yeah, sure, definitely. Anytime. Just you just message me, and we'll make that happen for sure. Anytime.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, and then how's the weather your way?
What's that, sorry?
How's the weather your way?
Well, we just had a northerly blow in here, so it was pretty hot the last couple of days, but this just came in and the temperature just dropped nice. It's nice and cool. Nice strong wind. It's beautiful. I'd say the temperature in Celsius, because I don't know Fahrenheit, so it's We were about 35, 38 degrees. Here, let me do a quick, let's go 38 Celsius to Fahrenheit. So it was at 100 degrees a couple days ago. And now it's dropped down to about 75.
Wow. Well, that's nice burst weather right there.
Yeah, so I know some people will be like 75, that's still warm. Well, for where I live, it's actually cooler. It's cooler. It's not cold, but it's cooler. But there's some crazy stuff happening. So for those who don't know, I live in Mexico, and I don't know if anybody's been keeping up with the news in Mexico. They just killed one of the cartel.
Yeah, I seen that.
That's on the other side of the country. There's nothing happening here, but it is chaos. It is chaos, and in a month, my wife and daughter are headed to one of the states that's greatly affected. So I don't know if I want them to go.
Oh yeah, no.
I just seen that too. They're actually catching planes on fire, buildings on fire, vehicles,
gas stations, everything. Yeah, and I watched a video where they came to a gas station, and at least they were like, get out of here. You know, they have their guns out, but they're like, leave. So they're telling the workers and people filling up their gas, they're like, just leave. And they do, and then they're spraying gas all over and they light it on fire. So I know there's chaos, but at least they're not, well, that I've seen, that they're not killing anybody, like just locals right now. But I do have a friend who lives in Puerto Vallarta, and he's like, yeah, we're on lockdown right now. He says, I can hear every now and then, I can hear some explosions. Like, holy crap.
Oh man. And make sure you be careful, Mariah. Make sure you be careful down there, man.
Where I live, it's pretty damn safe, actually. Where I live, it's the only thing you got to worry about is thieves. That's about it. Like people breaking into your house, because it's pretty poor, and people break in. Well, some people break in because they're bad people, but some people break in to, you know, get money to buy food and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah, just that part.
People tend to forget that man is their own worst enemy, you know, at the end of the day. And, you know, there's, you can go ahead and describe a monster, and then you can do the same thing with a man and their rage and their, you know, their hatred. You know, it's a scary business dealing with you know, these terrorists, you know, these cartels. You know, I talked with a couple of people that go to Mexico, and they say, yeah, it's real. You know, it's very much real. Just like how you would talk with these cryptic monsters. You know, how we talk about these ghosts and these lights in the sky. You know, and you know, I could say it's real. It's very much real. And the same thing with these cartel actors. You know, these cartels.
And the stuff that they do as well, Darren, is
devil
crazy.
Yeah.
Like they make people disappear quite fast, and it's not like, and some people are forced to join. One of their methods is they'll put like ads not in the newspaper, but on Facebook Marketplace, like for jobs. And then we're talking like regular 9-to-5 type jobs. And someone will come pick you up. And as soon as they do, that's it. They take you out to like one of the ranches, and then they put you through training. And if you're not up to par with the training, if you don't want to be there, they make you disappear at that point. So it's it's crazy.
Scary stuff.
They know too much already. That's why I'll just get rid of them. And then what's the other one they're doing too? The cartels, they're combining Santa Muerte and murdering the Bloods and all that blood. So can you tell us a little bit about that since you're close, if you want? You can.
I know a little bit about the Santa Muerte. Santa Muerta. It's the saint of death, and it's a woman. And what they do is so their patron saint loves it when you kill. They love blood. So what they have done, I don't know that much about it, but some of the stories is they will kill you. Like maybe they'll strangle you, but then they will revive you. Like literally, they'll have like defibs, you know, fibrillators to bring you back to life, so they can kill you again. And I'm not making that up. Like they kill you and then they revive you so they can kill you again, because that gives them more credence. It's kind of like offerings to their saint. There is some, and it's very, very dark. I know there's one side that is very dark. I did an episode not on Santa Muerta, but or Muerte. I did an episode on a cult that was in Central Mexico back in like the 60s and 70s. That one was crazy. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie From Dusk Till Dawn. It's with Quentin Tarantino. This movie is loosely based on the events that happened with this cult. It was like this human sacrificing, blood drinking, heart eating cult that happened. Yeah.
Well, I wonder if Quentin Tarantino did his research on that.
I think so. I think that there is, because in the movie From Dusk Till Dawn, it's based on like this head vampire woman, right? Mm-hmm. And in this town in oh my gosh, where is it? Buena Herba, like Good Herb town. It's called because it was called that after, because the the cartels were working in there and they were harvesting these herbs. And I'll give you guys a story. Why not? So there was these two con men. And these two they're brothers. Okay. And I'm going to give you the condensed version though. So these two brothers had just left one of their towns that they had just, I don't know, like gotten a hit, like they got their money and they're leaving town. They were driving by and they saw this very, very, very poor town. One, it had no church. Okay. And that's important because church gives you morality. And, people go to church, you get better morals. Like some do. And then he noticed there was no electricity as well. And it was very isolated. So it had these three great things. So they decided to go in there and they dressed up as like Inca priests. Okay. And for those who know their history well, the Incans didn't live in Mexico. They lived in like Peru. They were from Peru and whatnot. They weren't from Mexico, but that's what they did. And so they went in there and they told the people that if they brought them offerings, that they would provide the gold that was hidden in the mountains, because this was in the mountains. We'll find you the gold that was hidden in the mountains because the gods want us to give that gold out. So the townsfolk they bought into this and they started giving them food, drugs, alcohol, and eventually they started giving them women, including their daughters. Okay. So they started offering up their daughters. Like the mothers weren't fighting it. The mothers were like, okay, yeah, this is fine. And the reason why the fathers weren't, because the fathers had started to join this cult. They were like becoming part of this. Yeah. So this went on for, I think it was close to maybe like a couple of months. And at this time, there was one, Jesus Barrio is this one townsfolk guy who kind of knew that this was not on the up and up. He's like, this is bullshit. And they actually, and he didn't rat them out. He actually said, I know it's bullshit, but I want in. You guys include me in on whatever's going on. So they said, sure. So at this point, though, the townsfolk started to question. They're like, I don't think this is really going. This is not right. So the two brothers, they decided that they were going to bring back a priestess. They told them they were going to bring back a goddess or a priestess. So they went to a nearby town, Monterrey. I think they went into Monterrey, and they found this girl at this brothel. She was about 16, 17 years old. Her brother was her pimp. And yeah, the story is crazy. So not only was she a prostitute, but she also was a fortune teller, and she was really good, but not an up and up fortune teller. She was just a con artist as well. So the brothers recruited her and her brother to come back. They said, we need you to pretend that you're a priestess or a goddess. And so they agreed to it. And her name was Magdalena Solis. So they brought her back. And then they created like this pyrotechnic show that the town have never ever seen any pyrotechnics and smoke and stuff like that. So they created this show. And when all smoke dissipated, there she was dressed like this priestess. And everybody was sold once again. Yep, this is real. We're going to find the gold now for sure. And this went on for another couple of weeks. But at this time, a couple of the townsfolk started to question. They're like, no, this isn't real. And the brothers had decided at this point, okay, the gig is up. We're done. But Magdalena said, no, let me handle this. So the brother said, okay. And at that point is when things took a turn for the worse and Magdalena took over. What she did is she had one of her other meetings, and at these meetings they would be sacrificing chickens, drinking the blood of the chickens, and mixing it in with peyote and cannabis as well. They'd be having that, so they were going all out.
Lovely.
So then
lovely.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said lovely. Wow, it's really
exactly. Yeah. So at this next one, and I didn't mention this as well, they'd have big sex orgies as well. let's include that in there too. So at this one, she's like, the gods have told me that there are some non-believers, people who are questioning this. And she picked out there was like 2 of them that were there, and she just went and murdered the one, just cut the throat, killed this one. And at that point, then she drank the blood of this of her sacrifice victim. And like I said, that's when things started to get crazier. So things started to escalate from that, where they killed. I don't want to. Okay, they killed anywhere between 13 to 16 people. Okay, and they were sacrificing them and drinking their blood. It had gotten to the point where, like, it was just this big, huge drug-induced sex orgy. There was no gold, of course, and it had gone extremely crazy. And they were now the last couple of sacrifices. She actually started cutting out their hearts and eating their hearts.
Oh my gosh, jeez.
So now we're going to fast forward to they were having one of their rituals, and they would do these rituals in a cave. They would do these things in a cave. And there was this young boy. He was about, I believe he was like 14 years old. He heard this sound and saw a light coming from the cave at night. And he slowly peered in, and he could see a group of people, and they're all going at it. And they were drinking a dark red liquid. And he's just sitting there hiding and looking. And that's when he noticed that when this cup came back to, like, the lady who was in charge, she was holding it underneath something, and he realized that it was a person, a dead person, that they were draining the blood from this person. And this sounds so fantastical, but this is a true story. So this boy took off, and he ran. It was close to, I think it was like 16 miles. He ran to the nearest town. Could have been anywhere between 16 to 20 miles. He ran. And at this location, there was a police station, and he told the officers, he was trying to say, and all he could get out was like, vampires drinking blood. Okay, that's what he said. They're vampires and they're drinking blood. And the policemen were all like, "Nah, man, you're full of it. You're like that. Your imagination is crazy." Except for one. One inspector was like, because the boy would not stop. He was like freaking out. So at this point, then the inspector said, "Okay, let's go back in the morning." And they returned, and that was the last anybody ever heard of the inspector and the boy. Which, unfortunate, like, it's unfortunate that they were killed and they were sacrificed. Their blood was drank and their hearts were eaten as well. But because of that, the police then knew that something serious was happening because their inspector did not return. So the police then reached out, contacted the military. The military and the police jointly invaded this town, arrested the whole town. I'm like, no word of a lie. They arrested everyone. And these, I know I say town, but it's not like there was thousands. There was maybe, I think there was close to like 50 or 60 people. So it wasn't like an exorbitant amount. So they arrested Magdalena, her brother. Then there's the two other brothers who were the original people who started this. The one was killed in a shootout, and then the second one, him and Jesus ran off into the mountains and were like, "Let's go hide and wait till this blows over, and then we'll come back and take over." But Jesus got greedy, and he's like, "Well, I want to be the man." So he killed the other brother, with a rock, bludgeoned him, killed him. And then Jesus then actually ended up being caught by the military as well, and they were all taken into court, into jail. The townsfolk all got 30 years in prison. Magdalena, her brother, and Jesus were sentenced to 50 years. But the crazy thing is Magdalena Solis kind of disappeared and faded. No one knows where she really is, because technically she should be out already, and she was quite young when this all went down. So, she could be in her 70s, but no one knows what happened to her. No one knows. And this was, like I said, this took place back in the late 60s. I think it was late 60s, early 70s, in around that time. Could have been 68, actually. So that was the story of the blood drinking vampiric cult from San Luis Potosi, Mexico. And
Wow.
it's crazy. So Darren, when you're saying man is the monster, well, the story just is right there, right? That is exactly that. That is monstrous.
Definitely. Most definitely.
It always makes me wonder, like, under high power, just a single person, I wonder how corrupt and how sinister their minds and their souls can be, because I'm pretty sure she wasn't doing this. She wasn't acting that way before, and now she's put under, pretty much on a mantle. And now she's drinking blood and having wild sex blood orgies, living up a vampire. So,
yeah, but, there is some like sort of, I agree with you, Darren. It's like some sort of entity got into her. So she was portraying, what was it? Damn it. It was a goddess of, it could have been the goddess of death it wasn't the goddess of death, but it was some crazy goddess that she originally was the priestess for. Then she said she was the embodiment of this goddess. I can't remember, but it was like, could have been like the goddess of war or something along that line. And so I think there was a possession in there, some sort of possession or something, she had a rough life to begin with. Don't get me wrong. But to take it to that level next, that's insane.
Maybe she wasn't a con artist after all, and whatever's been guiding her maybe did its course. Hopefully she's not doing that or teaching. Shoot, that's all I can say about that. And let's jump in the comments right here. Karen Root 450. This is going to be great. Just subscribed. Thanks. Love Rye. He is something special. Oh, definitely, Karen. Definitely.
That's Karen. Yeah, Karen's a great. She's always been in my show, in my lives, watching everything. She's fantastic. So good to see you, Karen.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we got a buddy right here too. Same thing. Since we started going, our buddy right here, Javon Koshel, says, "Good evening, Don, Darren, and guests. What's up, Javon? I hope you are okay, you and your family, brother." Crazy Coyote, this guy too, right here, says, "Found Colorado's Bigfoot Road between Cripple Creek and Cannon City, Road 89, southeastern Colorado." Oh, geez. Road 89. I got to remember that road now. Dead Wolf 66. Yo, still working. LOL. But I'm here listening for the time being. Oh, thank you, Dead Wolf. Thank you. Karen Root says, Darren, that was a scary encounter. Talking about your dog man encounter. Definitely was. Oh, hey, what's up, Karen? Owl 13-1. How goes it? Hope all is well this evening. It is, Owl. Thank you. Thank you. Karen says, hi, Rye. Hey, Rye again. Awesome. All right. Let's see here. Okay. And, hey, finally stopped raining. Awesome. I mean, hopefully you're dry. Heidi Goal. Hi, Don, Darren, Rye. Much love from Boulder, Colorado. Hey, much love, guys. Let's see here. Oh man, we got a lot of comments. That's what's up. Cedric Willie, what's up, Don, Darren, and Rye. Awesome. Another good our teammate right there, Cedric Willie. He might be, if you want him to come on your show as well. He does have some great stories. He's
100%.
He's like he's a hand trembler, or the best way I can describe that is like a remote viewer type of deal.
Okay.
But in the Navajo version, it's very interesting what he does.
You call it a hand trembler. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yep. That's one of the ways you can. It's like our natural defense on hunting skinwalkers. So there'll be multiple Navajos that have that gift, and then you get them all together, and you can go on a witch hunt. Because it's a very long story. Very long story.
I want to hear it. Yes.
Yeah, they're part of that on your episode. I was telling you about the 5 the 5 like branches Navajos used to do. One was the raiders, the other was the warriors, the others were the weapon makers, the others were the messengers, that's the skinwalkers, and then the hand tremblers, that's the 5th one, because they were able to remote view where the enemy's coming, where they're going to attack, and they gave us time to set up a trap. So that's part of a little bit of the history. Very interesting.
Yeah.
And okay, let's see here. Coyote, yay! USA beat Canada in hockey. Oh, that's cool.
That.
Awesome.
That's tough. I'm Canadian, so I know I live in Mexico, but I'm Canadian, so it's
Geez, Al says, it happens here in Canada too. Most young natives get recruited into the Bloods and Crips. Yeah, the Reds are just like that, but less dangerous, thankfully. My cousin was, and I've seen the Trade de Agra colors on some. Oh, geez. Be careful out there.
right.
Okay, let's see here. Was it Robert Rodriguez that directed it? No, it was Quentin Tarantino, right? I can't remember.
Could be. Well, I know Quentin Tarantino was part of it, but it might be. So I'll check right now when you're doing that from.
Okay.
Oh, and
Audacious Amber, hey sister, how's it going?
Hey,
Long
Amber.
time no see. Says, hey Rye, hey brother.
Yes, it is.
Hey,
so
brothers.
just to correct, yeah, it is Robert Rodriguez.
Oh,
okay.
Anyways,
nice.
Quentin Tarantino, if you hear this, man, we need another movie, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's retired from Hollywood.
I know, man. All his movies are bangers, man. Freaking real.
We need him to collaborate with the like native witch hunter stories and skinwalker stories. Just imagine that would be a sight to see. And OJ too. I'm glad I live on the Navajo Nation, away from all these scary places. I deal with the skinwalker and cartel or gangs. Oh geez, huh? Yeah, thank you, Al. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you. OJ cartels, huh? Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's oh man, we got a lot of comments. Okay, let's start the show here. Okay.
and I see Cedric Willie, or is it Cedric Willie said he said he would love to be on. So yeah, so just send me a message whenever you get a chance, or hit up Dawn or Darren, and they can send you my info.
I'll make a group chat on Messenger right away after this episode. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So let's
speak more on the this Mexican witchcraft. Actually, my father actually got to see it too when they were doing the border wall. They were building the wall, and they used to have
snap,
almost shrines. They would put up shrines, and you would see what they say is black candles and lottery tickets inside of Coke bottles and stuff like that. And some of the the locals will say just don't try not to look at him, and never touch him. Just leave him alone, because they do practice this black magic.
Magic.
So.
Yeah. They do, and there's a lot of places, in around here where you can find a lot of black magic practitioners, and I was saying that there is the Mexican version of skinwalkers, but it's like these brujos,
owls, right?
Yeah, they can these ones. Lechuzas, yeah, the lechuzas is half owl, half woman kind of thing, but. Yeah. There's the men who will change into like common animals, we'll say, like a dog or something like that. But people will go to them. And this is crazy. Like, this is because jealousy is a big thing here. People will go to them to pay them to shapeshift so they can spy on their like boyfriend, their husband, or their girlfriend, or their wife, to make sure that they're not cheating on them. That's what we've gotten to in here. So it's a common thing. It's like, okay, can you go follow my boyfriend? He's going out with the boys tonight, and I want to make sure he's being good. And they will pay people to do that, and they will shapeshift into a dog. And a lot of times, when like a friend of mine was telling me these stories, he says, yeah, they'll have like there'll be a bunch of guys going out and there'll be a black dog following them, and they're like, oh, that's my wife. My wife hired someone to watch us.
Wow. That doesn't sound so crazy. I think Navels would probably be the same way too. So
sounds eerily similar, and on a lot of levels on that. That's why I'm laughing. So, like, Jesus,
you're like, oh my gosh, I can relate to this shit. Yeah.
At the same time, like back in the day, we'd be going to different party spots and we would see a dark animal like a dog or something following us around from one spot to another, and we're using night vision and we see this animal staying further away, just going from bush to bush watching us, and we're trying to shoot at it, but the bullets won't hit it. So so I think all this kind of like correlates. So like, oh,
you're like, oh shit, yeah, I've had that before. Yeah, girlfriends watching us, paying someone to watch us.
Yeah, I got the creeps, man. Thanks for that. Validating. So, Mr. Rye, tell us, how'd you start on this on your journey here, being a chronicler and just hearing all the weirdness? Tell us about it. We're in the very beginning, please.
Okay, so go ahead, Darren.
Tell us about how you got your name, Codex of Curiosity, because it holds a real, it's real strong. It has a real strong title to it. So I love that too.
I'll start with the Codega. A lot of people, that's okay, like a Codex of Curiosities. It's an ancient book full of curiosities. I love that term curiosities, because I think it was dubbed so many years ago. Everybody goes to pay to go see the sideshows or these curiosities, and it just makes people just want to see this. But where did Codega come from? Now, this, and I will take this far back when I used to do tarot reading. I used to do oracles. I used to do healing. I could I wouldn't say remote view, but I was able to see things. I went and when I was growing up, there was a girl around my age who was abducted and never ever found. And this was about when I was maybe like 8-10 years old. It's never ever left me. So we'll say about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that, I decided that I'm going to try using what I have to see if I can figure out what happened. And so I could say that I went remote viewing, but remote viewing in the past. And I was able to see a lot of very, very disturbing things. I was able to see the person. I was able to see the car that she was abducted. So it was that is my belief and what I saw. So I'm like, well, how do I not clarify this, but how do I corroborate this, that I did this? So I found an investigative reporter who really took the case very, very seriously. And it was years, of course, it's 30 years after this case. And I decided to reach out to him. I'm like, hey, his name was Brian. And I said, hey, Brian, not sure if you're into this. Like, I'm not a psychic, but sometimes I can see some things. I have maybe a gift. And I said, would you be open to hearing what I have to say? And he got back to me and he says, yeah, I've talked with psychics before and other people. So I told him everything that I saw, and he was able to corroborate a lot. He was able to corroborate the car, the person that I saw, and that's who he believed did it as well. He actually is 99% positive he knows who did it. It was a family friend. The guy's car that he used, like a day after the abduction, he took it to a car wrecker and they actually squished it. And so there was no evidence left because they squished the car. So there was a lot of things, but so that's kind of my past. That is something kind of what I did, but I wanted a moniker, a name. And I stumbled upon this profession that happened back in Venice, back in I believe it was the 1600s. And this profession was of a man who would guide people through Venice at night with a lantern. And he was kind of like your escort. He would protect you from thieves, from demons, from criminals, and ghosts. And when a good Codega would tell you stories along the way, he would also pick up stories from the people he was walking with as well. So that is a Codega. He is guiding you, through your journey to safety, keeping you safe and keeping you somewhat entertained with these curiosities. So that is where I came up with the name Codega. And it kind of died when I will say like this, the stuff that I was into was kind of it was occult. And I walked away from all that. But the name always stuck. I thought it superseded that, it was this. So I reinvented it to be this person not this person, to be who I am now. It fits what I do. I like to take people on these journeys, with my guests and tell them stories or get them to tell stories. And that's kind of like my hat here. I have like a lantern on my hat, is just to guide people along safely along this. So that is the story of the name of my show. And then I just like alliteration, which is like all the C's. Codega, Codex of Curiosities. Sometimes it's a mouthful. So I kind of shortened it just to the Codex of Curiosities, and I'm Rye the Codega. That's what I go with, like that.
Wow. Awesome. We got a question for you.
Yeah, please.
Before my son was born, I kept getting like these recurring dreams of a guy that was not Native American, and he had like a robe on, and then he had a staff, and at times he would put a lantern up on top of the staff, and he would lead me up a mountain and try to speak with me, and I would walk away from him like, I don't know you. He was taller than me, and he was old with beard and white hair, white beard, and he was showing me different trails on mountain paths, and he was talking to me. Like probably about 5 nights in a row, I kept dreaming of this person with a long staff and a lantern. So I'm wondering, is it something like that, or have you heard anything like that before? Just a question for you.
So this extremely reminds me of like tarot. Okay. So in the tarot cards, there is the hermit. Okay. The hermit has a robe as well. He has a lantern and he has a staff. And if he's taking you out into the mountains, the hermit was a person who kind of left society. He walked away from society to live in seclusion for spiritual, religious, or just to be introspective as well. He kind of means that he's talking about like inner wisdom, self-reflection, but it looked like he said that he was showing you different paths, perhaps that he was trying to present with you, because before your son is born, that you have this journey now to go on. Can also be somewhat of a Codega as well too, that it's time for you to begin this new journey, this new path. And it's sometimes, and I did find this when I had my first child, my life completely changed. I felt like completely isolated in a way, and felt like I went down a whole new path that I never would have gone if I never had children, and or I have a child. I'm not saying I have children, but I have a child, and it really changed my life. And so maybe he was trying to tell you that now you have some new choices to make, and you have this path. Sometimes it can be, I don't want to say lonely, but sometimes you're kind of like a recluse with your family. At times, it's just you and your family, and you're doing this journey. But of course, we always have our family and our extended family that we choose to.
That's awesome. Wow. That's pretty cool. Darren, you got any questions for Codega?
So how far have you did any training on this this ability you have?
Never. Okay. I'm gonna okay, so how did I get into what I'm doing now? I think that is the best story to go, because it will give you some training that I did do. I studied under a year under a Cherokee shaman, and then under a Blackfoot medicine woman as well, for a couple of years. But that's me jumping ahead. That's getting too far ahead right now. I need to go back. So my life has always been full of strangeness and craziness, and I don't know if I attribute it to this, but something happened when I was really, really young. I was under a year old, and it had hit a point where something the doctors couldn't do nothing. Okay. They thought I was going to die. And no matter what they did, they could not help me. So my parents had a priest come in to read me my last rites. So what happens at that point for me is my belief is that I have possibly a foot in the one world and a foot in this world. Okay. So it's kind of like, I feel like it may be possible that I've crossed slightly over. I had the last rites given to me, so it's kind of easier to pass over into this other world. So that is why I think maybe I have so many crazy things happening. Now, one of those crazy things, I'll fast forward to when I was about 9 years old. I was grade 4 running a race, and I've told this story countless times on my show, but of course I'll tell it for your listeners.
Please.
We had this in Canada. We had this thing called Canada Fitness Challenge. And what it was is you had a bunch of these activities you had to compete, and you had levels. Like if you ran a race and you ran it in this time, you got the excellent badge. Or then there was gold, then there was silver, then there was bronze, and then I think bronze was the bottom. But that's what you had. And I never had gotten excellent. I had, first, second, third grade, never have gotten excellence. I got gold and silver, but I was like, okay, this year I'm going to do it. So I was running this race, and there was a group of kids that were just in front of me. And I'm like thinking to myself, and we're getting near the end. I'm like, I got to catch up to them, because if I do, they're most likely on the pace of the excellence badge. I need to catch up. So I pushed myself as hard as I could possibly go. And I had never pushed myself that hard before. At that point, I shot out of my head. Okay. I left my body. So I went out. And at that point, I was about 15 feet in the air, 15, 20 feet in the air. And I'm looking down, and I can see everybody running. I can see out of my peripheral that I'm seeing up there, I can see this hill that we're running towards, because that's where all the rest of the kids are sitting. I can see that hill. I can see everybody else running, and then I can see myself running. And it was at that point of having that realization that I see myself running, that I was like right back into my body. It was like right through the top, back in, and I finished the race. Now, at that point, being a kid, you don't really have any filters. So I started telling everybody, oh my God, this has happened. I just shot out of my head. I'm so excited. But for me, it was exciting. But for everybody else, they're like, you're weird. you're strange. So at that point on, grade 4 was kind of tough for me, because nobody wanted to talk to the weird kid. Nobody was. And I told a handful of people, but I instantly stopped after I started getting the reaction. Not the reaction that I thought I was going to get. I got this other reaction of like, either you're lying or you're weird. So, thank you. So I was like, at that point,
Canada Dry right here for you. Cheers, right?
There we go. I'm drinking some water, but I really could use a ginger ale right now.
Sorry to interrupt, but go ahead.
No worries.
So I'm taking a drink. Yeah,
there we go. So at that point, though, I think I kind of like ended any type of involuntary or voluntary out-of-body experiences, because it never happened again. Never had that ever happen again. So we're going to fast forward then to we moved into this new house. My parents had built this house on this property. We moved in, and there was some weird things kind of happening on this land. Like we almost had a guy lose his life. He somehow like flew off a ladder, and like he was 2 stories up and like flew off a ladder and missed the cement septic tank by like inches. You could, and he landed in the dirt. And he was fine, actually. He was fine. But if he would have been just this much over, that would be a completely different story. So there was like, he doesn't know how that happened. But so we're living at this house. First things first is that this house terrifies me. We built the house, but maybe there's something going on with the land, or maybe there's something going on with my family. I don't know. And whenever I was left alone in that house, absolutely terrified. I would take all the dogs, even the dogs that we had from like outside. I would take the dogs that were outside dogs, bring them into my bedroom, bring the cats in. And we never had any indoor cats. I was always outdoor, but I would bring every type of animal I could, put them in my bedroom and close the door. And there was times, of course, I got to go to the bathroom or I'm hungry. And that was a big ordeal to actually go down the stairs to go to the kitchen to go get food. Cause it was like, I know kids get scared, but this was beyond, this was this extreme, just being terrified. So I was about 12 years old, and one of my duties, one of my chores I needed to do was to feed the horses. We had about like 4-5 horses. And as a 12-year-old, a lot of times, if I'm not reminded of stuff, I forget. And that night I had forgotten. It was about, I'd say close to maybe 7 or 8 o'clock. And it was in the late fall. So the sun was setting much sooner. So it was already dark out by that time. And my dad called up to me because I was upstairs in their bedroom, because we had that's only at the time when we had like one computer. So I was in their bedroom in this dormer with a computer, and my dad calls up. He's like, "Fed the horses," and I'm like, "No," and he's like, "Well, get your butt out there and go feed those horses." Okay, and I was typing a journal, my own personal thoughts. So it's kind of like private, and I went outside, and as I get out onto the driveway, just a short, well, our driveway was really, really long, but we only had like a small cement driveway right before the garage. And I look up into the dormer and I can see up there, and there's a woman on the computer. And this woman looks identical to my grandma. Okay. But my grandma lives, if we're talking miles, maybe like 14, maybe 15 miles away. And she's not here. This is like a weekday. She is not at our house visiting. And you're trying to make sense of it because you're like, well, that's not my grandma because grandma's not here. And so I'm like, it's got to be my sister. You jump to these conclusions. It's got to be my sister or my mom or something. So I go down and I feed the horses and I come back up. And as I come back up, there's no one there. I go into enter the house on the main floor, and I ask my family because they're all sitting and watching an award show, like whether it be like the Grammys or the Oscars. I don't know which one, but one of them. And I'm like, who was upstairs? Someone was upstairs watching. Someone was upstairs on the computer. And my family is like, I have 2 sisters and my mom and dad were there. No one's left. I'm like, no. Someone was upstairs. And they're like, no, we've all been down here. My one sister said, I went to the bathroom, but no, we haven't. And the bathroom is just on the main floor. And I couldn't understand what had happened because like when it's dark outside and the light is on inside the house, you can see clear as day. It's not like it's not like there's maybe I see something, maybe I don't. No, it was super clear. And there was this what looked like my grandma on the computer. Okay. So like I said, that was like a buildup. Then fast forward a couple more years. I'm about do you guys have any questions?
I don't know. Go ahead. I don't. Do you got any? We're just letting you cook. Go ahead. We're listening.
Yeah. All right. Getting in right now.
Okay. So now I think I was either 16 or 17 years old. My parents had went away for a 2-week vacation and decided that we're good kids and they can leave us at the house by ourselves and we're not going to be crazy or anything like that. And my sisters are older than me. My one sister, she is 18 and the other one is like 20, 21, I think. And but of course, like good kids, we decided that it was a good time to have some parties. So when we did that, we decided also not only to have a party, we decided let's go to, and this is so crazy, let's go to Toys R Us and buy a Ouija board. Okay. Yeah, because that's where they sell the Ouija boards. I'm not kidding you. They had stacks and stacks, like literally to the ceiling, like 100 Ouija boards at Toys R Us. Just great kids game. So
being a good old kid. Okay.
yeah. Like Operation Battleship, Life, or Ouija board.
Yeah. What do you feel like playing? You Candyland, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Or do you want to talk with some spirit?
Yeah,
Let's
go play Candyland. No, let's summon demons. Yes.
Oh man, yeah, that's one thing that people don't realize is it's actually published as a as a child's game. It's really weird. It's really weird, but that's how it is. It's crazy, but yeah.
Go ahead.
It's very so. Yeah, so I won't say anything for me crazy happened playing with the Ouija board. Okay, it wasn't like oh my gosh, something's gonna like of course it was like your grandma's coming through, and I was like, oh yeah, it's my grandma, and my sisters had something kind of crazy, but I don't really remember too well, so I don't really want to be like, oh, this happened, and I don't want to misquote what actually happened, but some things happened where they're like, someone's on the roof like this this thing is on the roof, and then they heard like knocking on the chimney. Actually heard knocking on the chimney, and then like the furnace like it started on, like it didn't start on fire, but it like lit up to start heating. But they said that the flame actually kind of came out of the furnace. They're like, we've never seen that ever before, which was I agree, I've never seen that before, but they said that those things happen. That's all I remember. I don't know what or anything else. But so after the Ouija board, things start to escalate in the house. Crazier things. I was more terrified in this house. So what happened at that point was I was about 19. I'm going to fast forward here. So I was about 18, 19 years old. And I'm older, so I'm going to date myself by saying this, that, the PlayStation 1 had just come out, and at Blockbuster, you could go rent it. So my friend had rented the PlayStation, and we all went over to his house because this was crazy. This is so we played PlayStation. I had to work early in the morning, so my friends drove me home, and just before they dropped me off, and just before going in, and it doesn't really tie in with the story, but I just like to say this point that I remember the Northern Lights were out big time that night. So Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights were just dancing across, and I stayed outside for a couple extra minutes. I'm like, oh, it's just beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So I went into bed, got ready, and like I said, I had to wake up early, and I was like, I can't fall asleep because, I've had this adrenaline rush, and I just can't sleep, and tossing and turning. I'm looking at my clock, and I'm like, hey, if I fall asleep now, I'll have 7 hours and 33 minutes to sleep. And then I'm like, look over, okay, 6 hours and 58 minutes to sleep. Like that's the whole time I'm going to have to sleep before I need to wake up. And it just keeps getting less and less. And I'm laying there, and I get this like premonition is the best way to call it. I don't want to say it's like a voice in my head, but it was like someone telling me, but there was no one actually telling me, but it was like someone telling me, you need to look up. And so I flipped onto and I want to clarify, this is not sleep paralysis because I was awake and I was moving. So I rolled onto my back and I look up, and floating about 3 feet above me is this blacker than black figure. I can see the head. I can see definite, like where it kind of goes in a little bit around here, around the neck. I can see the shoulders. I can see the arms beside the body. I can see the torso. And when it gets closer to the waist, it turns into like this white wispy type smoke. Okay. And it just goes into nothing, kind of like a Hollywood-esque ghost, almost like around that point. But the rest was blacker than black. But that wasn't the most terrifying point. The most terrifying part was the eyes. Okay. So the whole cornea, including like the pupil and everything, was glowing red. It was like this incandescent red glow. And like, it wasn't like lasers or flashlights, but it was just glowing red. I was absolutely terrified. And this is why people are like, oh, that's sleep paralysis, because when you are scared or any type of adrenaline rush, you have, fight, flight, or freeze. And for me, it was freeze. And I was like, if I don't move, it's not going to see me kind of thing. And I laid there in my bed. Now, this thing, was only there maybe for a couple seconds, maybe at most 3 to 5 seconds, and it disappeared. But of course, I didn't move. I was like, I'm not moving from this position. I am terrified. The next thing I remember is my alarm going off in the morning, and I get up, and it's, sun has risen. It's the next day. And who do I tell? I can't tell anybody about this. I told people about having an out of body experience and they all laughed and made fun of me. I'm not telling anybody about this. So it stuck with me for years before I finally actually told someone. But that was the experience that kind of really started to change things. Now I had another experience at this house, but it wasn't really, I don't tell this one that often, but I will, just to kind of set the stage of why I took the path I did. Now, it was about a year later. I had come home from working a late shift, and I got home, and it was close to, I think it was like 11:30 at night. And I all of a sudden got violently ill. And because I got laid down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't feel good. And ran to the bathroom, and I was throwing up, losing my lunch, so to speak. And while I was in there, so no one else is awake. It's dark. The only other person in there actually who was living in the house at that time was just my parents. Both my sisters had moved out. So it was just my parents and me. And this fear started to build up. And this fear that I had felt before, but now it has increased in intensity. It has increased so much. And I'm 19 years old. I'm a young man. Okay. I'm not a kid anymore. That I can't leave the bathroom. I'm sitting there on the floor in the bathroom, unable to get up and leave. And I start getting these images in my mind. Now, people will be like, oh, it's just an active imagination. No, it wasn't. This was, I swear to God, like these images I was receiving was of like, Nosferatu, the kind of like almost the original vampire, that is what was in the hallway waiting for me. And I could see it. I could see almost out of its eyes, right around the corner, waiting for me. And I was like, I can't leave. I can't leave. I stayed there for about an hour and a half before I finally, like a way to throw your mom under the bus. I know, like when Darren was telling me this story, like he was protecting his family, he had the gun, and he's protecting his mom. Then there's me, It's like I'm calling my mom to come out to save me. Okay, so I'm like, Mom. And by that time, it was close to like 2-3 in the morning. And so she gets up, turns on all the lights. And as soon as the lights go on, I'm fine. Everything was like, she lit up the whole house, comes into the bathroom, like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't feel good. That was what I said. I don't feel good. But it was at that point that I was like, this isn't right. These things, something is causing me to be absolutely terrified. And I feel like there's nothing, I felt like there was nothing I could do. So that's where I went. And I wouldn't say I was a devout Catholic, but I went to church every Sunday. I was like part of the church, but I didn't feel I could talk to anybody at the church. And that's one thing I would say, is that a lot of times people, like the spiritual side, the aspect of religion doesn't really exist. At least in Canada, it doesn't exist. But I will say it's completely opposite here in Mexico. Mexico, they're pretty married, actually. It's a lot more accepted. But in Canada, no. It was, you go to church on Sunday, you do your worship, and then you go back, and then that's it. Like it's just kind of cookie cutter, nothing in between. So I didn't feel I could talk about like demons or anything like that with my priest or anything. So that's where it began, where I kind of like, well, I need to find something else. So I, started slowly down the New Age path. And nothing wrong with the New Age. I think there is good aspects to it, but I think that it's a stopover, and you can get stuck there, and you can go into something worse through it. I think it's like this, I don't want to say purgatory, but it's this, I don't know.
It's almost kind of like neutral, huh? It's like there's no flow, there's no water movement. It's just still, and you throw a rock in the water.
That's exactly, it's very stagnant. I agree, Darren. It's stagnant like that. And it can be bad. It can be good. It can be anything, but it depends on what you do with that. And so I think it's like it's this quagmire that catches a lot of people. A lot of people stay in there and they never get out. It's like a quicksand and they get stuck in it. So I went in there and I started, going into this. I became a Reiki master. That's when I started doing tarot and oracle readings as well. And I never really, it was good, but I never really felt it. I was getting paid to do readings. People were paying me all around the world to do readings. It wasn't like I was super famous. I had a website and some people were hitting me up and doing stuff like that, paying me. But I then, one person I met through my Reiki was this shaman from the Cherokee Nation. And she said, listen, I think we're meant to be, not to be together, but I think you need to learn from me. And I was like, yeah, I think I do too. So I studied underneath her. I guess that's the best way to call it, for like a year. I learned a lot and I felt better. I felt like, and if we talk about what is that movie? Hellboy, when he joins that one club or the group, it's like, the things that go bump in the night, we are the ones who bump back. That's what I felt that I finally felt like I'm not afraid anymore. And it's like, no more to that. And through this as well is when I was introduced to Joanne, who was a medicine woman, and she's a Métis medicine woman who learned under the Blackfoot ways. And I started helping her with her sweat lodge and, setting up her sweat lodge. We made it, I helped her build a new one. We took down the old one, help her build a new one, bending the willows. And it was a great experience. And I ended up being her firekeeper for a year. And she taught me a lot. She actually gifted me 4 songs as well. And it was it was amazing. So it was learning under her as well. And it was through all this that I believe that I was then, okay, I feel like I have some arsenal, I feel safer now. And then also incorporating my Catholic side, my religious Christian side. I started incorporating that. And I really feel though, now I've gone back to the church because I feel that that's where I need to be, especially in this world, in this day and age. And I'm not like being like, yeah, religion, everybody needs to go to religion. But I think that we need to find our north, find something that is really strong, because there is a lot of evil out there. We've seen that with the Epstein files. We've seen some it's beyond what we might have thought it is. It is far beyond that. It is stuff that you would see out of the movies in Hollywood. And that's kind of crazy. When you think about Hollywood is a type of wood that they use for magical wands, for casting spells.
Yeah.
So I really believe that Hollywood is a lot of it is satanic. A lot of things that a lot of people that are involved with that, usually get pushed into a direction. And there are a few that step away, like Jim Brewer, Rob Schneider, Kevin Sorbo. Those people have walked away from it all. And usually when you do that, you're blacklisted, or you don't end up on these, you don't become super famous.
Yeah, you're labeled as a weirdo. What was the another guy?
Difficult to work with and stuff like that.
Passion of the Christ and stuff like that. And what was that guy's
Mel
name?
Gibson.
Mel Gibson, yeah. They played him off like a real weirdo, how he talks and but at the end, he's like, is this guy really that crazy? Like Dave, the whole time. Like Dave Chappelle was like one of them too,
Exactly. That is exactly it, Darren. And hey, I bought into Mel Gibson was crazy. Roseanne Barr's nuts. Because Roseanne Barr said they're eating babies. She said that.
Oh yeah. Right.
I'm like, man, she's nuts. This is crazy, And now I'm like, they were right. They were right.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, I've always been that guy too, that with the tinfoil hat. Always been that guy in my family, and I was telling my brothers, but all this stuff that goes on, like the music industry, how freaking corrupt the music industry is and perverted. Hollywood, the same thing, and I was like, even before all this Epstein stuff went on, I was telling my brothers like it's gonna happen, and sure enough, it started out with that P Diddy, and then the Epstein, and it was like it's gonna get even worse, So I always been that person, and I always kind of keep an eye out for Hollywood, stuff like that.
I would say I was diet. I was diet tinfoil hat. I believe some things, but I would get swept up, and I'm like, oh yeah, Mel Gibson's crazy, and Roseanne Barr is crazy. But now I'm like I said, I'm diet. I was a diet tinfoil hatter, but now it's like no, it's full on. I'm drinking the full on tinfoil juice, and starting to see it all for what it is.
I've always been that guy. Like which would you take, the red or the blue pill? Well, I'll take them both. Like let's do this. So
I actually think it's very important to live a balanced life. I think it's very important to not balance. Like neutral, to be able to stand back and not get swept up. And that's what I'm seeing now. Like, don't get me wrong, I got swept up. I still every now and then get swept up, but a lot of people like to see politics for what they are. Politics are meant to divide us. They've created a two-party system so that you're either this one or you're that one. You can't. You have to be one or the other, and you have to be sole supportive of the one or the other. And I'm like, well, can I like what this person does? And can I like what that person does? And can I not say that is crap and that is crap? Like I can say that shit and that shit. And guess what? That's just the way it is. Like I can call stuff out. I think that gives you the power.
Yeah. They looked at a biblical stance. It's what did they say? A house divided is never going to stand. And like, you got the house of like justice, or we got the two branches of the house, and they're always constantly bashing each other. So like, where do we get at the end of this? Do we just stand on one ladder?
It's just all a play. Like to me, it's just like all a huge play. There's a master puppeteer behind all of it, and I'm just like, hey, what's the point of this? So I'm just like, I'm not.
It feels like it's like a soap opera. It's a badly scripted soap opera. Like some of the stuff they say, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like listening to Pam Bondi when she was being interviewed or like interrogated about the Epstein files. And she almost starts to laugh. And then she's like, well, what about the Dow? The Dow's up to 50K. Everybody's 401. Like, what?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. It's the U.S. is not really doing too good. I'm not sure where you were going to put this America right now. In the theatrics, is it a comedy? Is it a freaking suspense? Is it a horror movie? Like what? Where is America at right now? Because it's there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's not really looking too good.
We're going downhill. That's what I'm gonna tell you. We got a comment here in the comment. Oh, go ahead, Ray. Sorry.
No. Please, go ahead for the comment. That's fine.
Oh no, I was just gonna say someone comment right here from earlier. We fell behind on the comments, but says Rye. She says okay. Karen Root says Rye. Geez, she's in her 70s. She could still be doing that. Oh yeah,
that was in reference to Magdalena Solis. Yeah.
And then this is the cannibalism too. BCast 33. The Anasazi and Chaco were said to be cannibals when the Navajo came across them, proving that Arcs found boiled human bones in pots in Chaco. Oh yeah, a lot of nasty stories on that. Hey, myths, monsters, and mullets are corrupt. What's up, brother? Oh yeah, yep. And let's see here. Someone, Karen says, I don't like the thought of cannibalism.
Me neither.
Yeah. I think that it's still being practiced on the Navajo Nation with the skinwalkers. So it's still being practiced and taught, and magic is involved with that. 1901 AZ Sesh Vibes. Shout out to Quintile, Arizona, and New Mexico this evening. Stay purple, y'all. Enjoy the videos always. Have a nice night, Don, Rye, and Darren. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's see here. Oh, monsters, myths, and mullets. Oh, I think it was that story you told that he says he wants to hear.
No, he was talking about you when you had said that there was the handshakers. He was talking about when he posted that was talking about the handshakers.
Oh, Lee. Okay, right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Catching up here. we're almost done here. Let's see here. Oh yeah, he does have a Cocopelli story too. Somebody's following says they like the Cocopelli story from the past live stream. Definitely. There's pretty crazy things right there. Crazy Coyote says, what can you say about Hombre, Puaro, Birdman, Mexican, Mothman?
That I don't know. I don't know anything about that. So that's something I need to look into.
Oh, there's Nawals. Is that one? Any that name ring a bell? It rings a bell with me, but I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I'm like, what is the Nawal is Mayan.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember. I think that's the calendar. Is that?
Oh,
I don't know.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, I don't know what the Nawal is. I don't know. I have to look that up.
Maybe. Oh, okay. We got Ruthie Castro. Hi, guys. Good evening. Hey, Ruthie.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, let's see here. Hey, Miss Billy, what's up? She says hello.
Hey.
Thank you for joining. Myths, monsters, and mullets is and they call it programs because they are programming you. Exactly. Exactly. Avery Tafoya. Nowadays, more than ever, things aren't what they seem. There's darkness attached to a lot of things: mainstream, politics, even religion. Strange days we live in. For real. And they just announced that UFO are real too. Go ahead.
I couldn't agree with that statement. Like, I think everything, including religion, has been infiltrated because that's the way you can corrupt it and pervert it all. Is you can't fight it, but if you get inside and then you can just corrupt it and pervert it from the inside, everything will ruin it. Like all those pedophiles that were, those pedophilic or the PDFs, sorry, I'll say that. The PDFs in the Catholic religion, 100%. Yeah. Like
on the reservation. Yeah, we see that everywhere on all levels on the Navajo Nation too. There's a bunch of sick stories with just the reservation itself. And one of the biggest indications was how you can tell America fell is look around the streets, look at how many churches, how many different denominations there is. They're all divided. It's all been infiltrated. Jason Finch, good evening, and everyone in the chat with us tonight. Oh, thank you, Jason. Moon at Noon. Hi. What's up, Moon at Noon?
What's up?
That's pretty cool. Says Jason Finch says, good evening to you, Don, and co-host Darren.
Hey.
And he says, good evening to you, Rye the Codega. Heck yeah. Chris Soto, good evening, guys. Hi, Rye. Been trying to avoid political talk, but amen to everything.
It's true. The political talk I think we get into is that it's all shit. It's all corrupted. Yeah, that's what we can say.
Yeah, we all agree on that. We're just like, hey,
we can all agree on that. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. And Jason Finch says, sorry for missing some of the show tonight. It's all good, Jason. It's all good. Right here, Codex of Curiosities. Yes, please follow our brother right here, the Codega. Go on his channel and follow him, please. He does amazing work over there on his channel as well. Interesting as well, all the time. Please like and subscribe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like and subscribe to Don't Whistle at Night. Exactly.
Thank you. Dead Wolf 66 finally off work. Hey, I'll rewatch this episode in the AM. Hey, thank you very much.
That is awesome.
Okay, all right, we caught up with the comments, guys. Woo.
Okay, so now I can pick up where I left off. Like I have a lot more stories. If you guys want to hear some more stories,
go for it. Go for it. It's your episode. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will fast forward now to me living here in Mexico. I'm going to go way ahead, actually, to what is it? 2014. I believe it was 2014, and I was living in Chihuahua, Mexico, which is south of El Paso, Texas, and I was in yeah, it's not scary or nothing, but it was a UFO encounter of sorts. Middle of the day. Excuse me, sorry. It was the middle of the day. I'm in the middle of a supermarket parking lot. And again, something was like, something told me I needed to look up. So I look up, and floating above me and moving. And okay, first of all, I'm going to say it was a blue sky, not a cloud in the sky, except for this thing. Okay. So what I saw floating up above me was a cloud. That sounds ridiculous. It was like a cloud. Okay. What you sure it wasn't just a cloud? No, but this cloud now was moving and undulating. It just kept changing shape and just kind of like totally just not like a cloud does. And then it starts moving over here and back over here and then up and then over and then this way. So this, and it wasn't like just in a small little area, like it would move maybe, and I can't place the height. That's the only thing, is I can't tell you how high it was because there was not a cloud in the sky. I'm looking straight up and I just see blue sky. So I can't give you a distance. It was fairly high over my head, but that's about it. And it's moving all around. And at this point then as well, I look off to my left and I see these two small black triangular craft. And I'm not saying they're UFOs, but they weren't airplanes. That's what I will say. Okay. I don't know what they were. And they were on a trajectory to intercept one another. There was two of them, and they're heading like this. Oh, way off in the distance over this way. There's one going this way and one coming this way. And I'm sitting there watching them, and then I'm watching this. I'll call it a plasma cloud. That's the best thing. I have no other way to describe it. So I'm watching between the two, and I'm staring at this plasma cloud, and I look back, and I miss the point where these two black triangular craft, intercepted. But now there's only one. And it's going across the horizon like this. And at this point, I would say after about like 3 or 4 minutes, this plasma cloud disappears. It's gone. Can't see it anymore. It's completely gone. Now this black craft just slowly meanders across the whole horizon. And that's why I'm like, that was different, because it wasn't like just super fast. It was slow. So that's why I'm like, was it a UFO? Was it some sort of black ops UFO? I mean, not UFO, but like some black ops plane. I don't know, like military. I have no idea, but that's what I saw. And I tried video. I had a Samsung Galaxy S3, and I'm like trying to video this. First of all, the little black craft were too far away for it to show up on the camera, and this cloud would not show up on my camera. I couldn't see it. I could see it with my bare eyes, but when I use my digital camera on my phone, nothing. So I'm like, what do I do? So I called my wife. So while this is happening, I'm talking to my wife, telling her what I see. And this whole encounter was about 13 minutes. So it wasn't like this short 13 to 15 minutes. It wasn't this short time. It was long. And I had never seen anything else like that until about 2 years ago. Not that I had seen it, but I stumbled upon a video that this gentleman had posted. I forget his name, but it wasn't his video. Someone shared it with him, and he shows this video, someone videoing, and they caught of this white type of plasma cloud that's like moving and changing, and it's just it does not look like a normal cloud.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen the video like that one. Yeah.
And this guy, he's called the Renaissance Man. That's it. His name is the Renaissance Man.
Okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah.
Okay. And in that video, I don't know if you've seen that video, he stops at one point and he's like, oh, look there's like this little black, looks like a black craft flying in this other direction. I think they saw 2 black craft at the same time as well. And I was like, okay, like that's exactly what I saw. The only difference between the cloud that I saw and the cloud that this person is videoing was this definitely looks more like a cloud. Mine looked more solid, like more denser of a cloud, if that's the way.
It's probably like a cloaked craft.
Yeah,
sounds like
that's what I think. Either cloak craft or some sort of plasma of sorts. But yeah, it was crazy. And again, it was this, you need to look up, like this message that I received in my mind. It's like, you need to look up. And this, when I was in Chihuahua, that's when I did that. I don't want to say remote viewing or whatever that was with that girl that had been kidnapped and murdered. I did that in Chihuahua there as well. But fast forward now to this house. I'm living in this house here. Lots of things kind of going on. We built on a cave system. There's a cave system running all underneath us. And it's called the Cuervo de la Toro. So it's the caves of the bull. Okay. Because there was like this, I don't want to say like a cartel guy, but he was like, we're talking back in, hundreds of years ago, there was a guy that he was a bad man. And his base was in these caves, and that's what they call it. So I'm wondering if this kind of attributes, because there's a lot of things that is happening in this house where I see things, things are moving, catching my eye. But that's neither here. I'm not going to get into any of that, but I will get into, again, I came out onto my patio upstairs here, and as I was exiting, I was told again in my mind, and I don't want to call it a download. I hate that when people say, oh, it's a download. But out in the distance, I was like, you need to look at this one specific point. And my friend had called me. And so I went and sat down on the patio, and I'm like talking. And again, I'm talking on the phone, and I'm looking out into this one specific point where I can see like the whole sky, but this one point. And sure enough, this light starts to form, and the light's getting bigger and brighter and brighter. And at first I'm like, I've seen this before. That looks like an airplane. And, it's getting closer and closer as it's flying towards you. They have their lights on for landing kind of thing. But what had happened was the light then separated into two lights. And it wasn't like they went like this, but it was kind of like an almond. They kind of went like in an almond like this. And again, I'm on the phone talking with someone. So I'm telling my friend, oh, man, you're never going to believe what I'm seeing here. And then the lights came back, and they joined back together again. And then they just disappeared. And then the light disappeared. I was like, okay, what am I looking at here? So I'm like, this is crazy. And I'm watching that exact spot. And that exact spot, the best way I can describe was a shooting star. Just in this one little area is like a quick light like this that just went super fast. It looked like a shooting star, but it was just in this one specific spot. It was just like this. I'm like, what the heck was that? Again, just this craziness that always seems to happen. And again, I'm being told to look. I don't know what is telling me. Something wants me to see it. Something wants to be seen. With that, I didn't feel anything nefarious. I would definitely say, of course, when I saw that, when I was told to look up, when I saw that shadow creature, that shadow being, that was terrifying. But these other ones, not terrifying at all. But I'm going to give you guys one last story. I know I'm going to keep talking, but do you want to have any questions or anything?
Oh, go ahead, keep rolling. But Darren, do you got a question?
Yeah. For the how would you say this? Who do you think tells you to look up? Do you have a spiritual how would you say it?
A spirit, as like a spirit guide or a connection?
Yeah, guide, yeah. Do you have?
I don't. Not that I know of or anything like that. It has to be, there's something telling me to look. There's something or someone or somebody or something that is telling me to look. What exactly is that? Like when it was that shadow being, that's terrifying. Why would someone want me to look at that? When there's that UFO, that was cool. That was very interesting. But why am I supposed to see these things? And the more I look into UFOs, the more I'm thinking that they have a possibly, and some people might get offended by this or whatever, but demonic fallen angel connection to UFOs. I believe that now I will say this, that if they are fallen angels, that means they also can be angels as well, because they were one and the same. Okay. So if a fallen angel is an alien, that means also angels can be aliens as well. There can be the same thing. So like if you are, I'm going to say this as well. If you're getting abducted by aliens, that's not good. That is not good. That is not a good thing. It's not your galactic family that is abducting you. If some stranger on the street abducts you, we know that we call that kidnapping, and the police will put that man in jail. But if an alien does it, oh, they're my galactic family. Unless they ask you, they're like, hey, do you want to come with us? I want to show you something. Oh, okay. But if they're taking you out of your bed, causing you to lose memories, that is not right. That is something you got to be aware of.
Taken against your will. That's not right at all.
Basically, how they say it, abduction. Because that's basically what they're doing. The craziest thing is they're actually stealing you, and they're taking and doing God knows what to your body.
That's exactly it. They are conducting experiments on you. And I didn't the Nazis do something like that? And didn't we have the Nuremberg trials for that? So let's not experiment. Experimenting on people is not right. Especially against your free will. If your free will is being violated, that's not a good entity. There's something going on that's not right. Now, I'm going to give you guys my last experience. This one was the doozy. This is the craziest one that had happened. So this took place, I believe it was in August of 2024. I had I just pulled up in front of a local grocery store, and it's a small little grocery store. It's not like a big one that has a huge parking lot. No, it's just you just park on the side on the street, and you can walk in, you get most of your groceries there. So I parked, and surprisingly, I got like right in front of the store parking, which is just great. So I park, and then something starts happening. Something with my vision starts happening. And many people will say, oh, you had an ocular migraine. And if anybody has an ocular migraine, you'll know what I'm talking about to a point. Now, I start seeing these colors. And if you stare at the sun for too long and then you look away and you kind of like see like these intense like colors, I would say it kind of looks like plasma. Okay. That's what I imagine plasma to look like, even though I call that cloud plasma. So that's what starts happening. I start seeing these intense colors, and fair enough. That could be definitely an ocular migraine. Now these colors start to form something. Okay. And what it forms is a triangle. And I can see, so it starts over here and it opens up over this way, and it opens up, trying to draw here, and it opens up over this way, and it connects up over here. Okay. And what it forms is the border of this triangle. And it's like, think of like the best way to describe it is a pool noodle. Those pool noodles that you can get into the swimming pools with? It kind of like that. And it's rolling, but these are all super intense colors. So it's kind of about that size. And it's just rolling over on itself. And it's these colors from like pinks to fuchsias to teals to yellows and oranges. And it's all mixed together. And it's just kind of rolling over on itself. It is crazy. And I'm at the store because they have the best prices on the cheese and bacon. So I need to get my cheese and bacon. But this stuff is happening. And we're talking about 50% of my vision is now obscured by whatever's going on here. But I'm kind of stubborn and hard-headed, so I need to get my cheese and bacon. So I'm standing in this line, and as I'm doing that, I start testing my actually, before that happens, I start to see through this triangle. Okay. It's like we can say maybe it's like remote viewing. We can say maybe this could be remote viewing in a different degree, but I say I saw through a portal. I saw through this other side. It was 3-dimensional. It wasn't like 2-dimensional. I could see now on my right-hand side, I could see, let's start with the left. On my left, I could see a wall, cinder block wall, a cement block wall going this way. And then I could see a roof. It looked like a steel roof, kind of came down over on this side. It had steel trusses. Now, everything that I'm seeing is either like a dark sepia, so it's like brownish rust color. Everything, okay? And it's not like sometimes there is some like whitish, but it's more of like a lighter, light brown color. This is what I see for everything. On the floor is strewn this rubble. There's rubble all over the floor. On my right-hand side, I can see part of a wall, and then the wall has been blown out. And that's what I think is the rubble on the ground is from this wall that was blown out. Now, directly in front, it's open. So I can see clearly directly in front of me. What I see is off in the distance, there's these very large industrial style fans. They're huge, not like this, but they're huge. They have a wire grill in the front of them, and they're just slowly turning in a counterclockwise manner, just slowly turning. Some of them are stacked too high, so some had one on top of the other, and there'll be one off to the side. All in all, there was about 6 of these fans, and I can also see the sky as well, and the sky is racing, so I can see the clouds as they're racing by, and they're just flying by. And again, it looks like an incandescent glow up above it, so there's kind of like this whitish glow that's glowing through these sepia style brownish rust color clouds that are just flying by, and the direction they're coming towards me like this. And now, no matter where I turn, I have a fixed point. So I turn in this life, or in this world, this reality, I can see everything. Like it turns, I can see it. But wherever I move, I still see exactly this fixed point. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? I haven't felt fear in a long time with stuff that I've seen, because I've seen a lot of things. I'm starting to get afraid. So then I'm like, I need to try to, look at this methodically. And so I close one eye. Okay. I can still see it. And then I close my other eye. Of course, still see it. I didn't try closing both to see if I could see it, like, oh, is this just like imprinting in my mind or something like that? I didn't do that, but I closed one eye and I closed the other eye, and I can still see this. So I have now ordered my cheese and my bacon, and I'm kind of having to like look over. So it's like I can look past, because I can see over on this way, I can see this way, and I can see over here. So I can kind of look past, and I can see what's going on in this world. And I can pretend that everything is hunky-dory. Everything is just a normal day. So I get all my bacon and cheese. I go up and pay for it. Go to the car, and I'm like, what do? I need to get home. But it's not the safest thing to get home, but I'm only about a block and a half away from home. So I drive home. I'm like, okay, kind of looking around, and I managed to drive home. It wasn't busy. And I parked the car in the garage, and I go upstairs, and I tell my wife, I'm like, I have a headache. I need to lay down. And so I laid down, and at that point, then I prayed to Jesus, and I was like, thank you for showing me this. I don't need to see this anymore. And we're talking, this is over 15 minutes, at least over 15 minutes of me seeing this, and it is not changing. Just the sky racing. This is all I see. Of course, I have to kind of like focus on it. If I focus on my computer here, I can kind of see what's going on in behind it. But if I focus on in behind it, it's hard to kind of see what's going on in my computer. It's there. So that's what I was doing, kind of thing. So if anybody's wondering, like, were you seeing it all the time? Yeah, I was seeing it all the time, but I have to focus on it. But then if I wanted to look past, I had to look past, and then I could see what's going on in behind it. So as soon as I did this, as soon as I prayed, not even a minute later, it's completely gone. Everything was back to normal. And I was terrified, because I'm thinking there's something wrong up here. Maybe there's something wrong with my eyes. I have no idea. And when I posted this to Reddit, and there were a lot of people like, oh, it's an ocular migraine. And they're just like tearing me apart. That's an ocular migraine. It's an ocular migraine. I'm like, okay, you can explain away the colors as an ocular migraine. I get that. But what happened? What about the second part? So the initial part, you can say, oh, it's an ocular migraine. But what about the second part? It's like crickets. No one can say anything. I've talked to a couple other people who've had similar experiences. One is Nick from the Occult Rejects. If you actually go to the Occult Rejects on YouTube, you will see that every now and then he has like this like their thumbnails showed like the sepia picture of like snakes and scorpions. That's what he saw. So he saw another sepia world with this. Paul Stobbs, from the host of The Nephilim Look Like Giants, I think his was a dream, but he says, I swear it was real. It was a Hat Man, and Hat Man was in this world that I was describing. And he was walking through this desolate world, and he says he could see like a sign hanging by one chain, just kind of like cracking, going back and forth. So yeah, this was crazy. And so I was terrified. I've never seen this ever again.
It's pretty wild right there. We got some comment right here. Chris Criteo Soto says, I have ocular migraines all the time. What you're describing is not one of them.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Jeez, we also had a lady on in the earlier years. She described her going into another reality type deal. She went to the restroom, and then she came out with her sister, and her sister also experienced that change in world. She said, yeah, pretty much.
They both experienced that.
Yeah, like the food was decayed, the walls were rustic, and everything was disheveled, and everything was like that. And her and her sister actually had the exact same experience. And it, I think it was the younger sister that said to walk backwards, and they actually walked backwards through the door, and then they came back, and they actually came back to this reality. So, as for what kind of world that is. The way she described it, it sounded more like the Silent Hill. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Silent Hill, where that world is more rustic and torn apart. So as for what this is, all we have is a collection of stories of people that never met each other talking about the same stuff. So
that's why I do my show, and I think why you guys probably do it too. It's to collect these stories. I think collecting of stories is extremely important. Not just to be like, hey, everybody, watch this story. Like, don't get me wrong, it's entertainment, but these are people's real life. These are the real experiences that they've actually experienced these things. It's not just something you watch TV and you like. Maybe as a viewer, you listen to this and you turn it off. But imagine, like, Darren, your experience as well, and Don, you guys have these experiences. You can't just turn it off. It's forever with you. It's a forever change your life. It's imprinted on you. And why we do these is to collect these stories, but it's also try to see if we get enough of them together, maybe we can have a little bit of a bigger clue of what we saw. Now, I had an idea of what I saw. I actually believe that it was a alternate reality. This is the reality where the demons inhabit, okay? And the demons are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, the dead Nephilim. The dead Nephilim are the children of the fallen angels, okay? When they died, they were cursed to roam the land, a barren wasteland, and thirst without ever being able to quench their thirst, to hunger without ever being able to satisfy their hunger. Okay. So they roam this land, and that is why they are trying to get over into our world and possess us. When we talk about possessions, it's happening because if they possess us, they can satiate their hunger or quench their thirst. And then they can drink. I can drink alcohol. I can smoke. I can do drugs. I can do all this. I actually believe, I don't think I say we shouldn't blame everything on demons, but I actually believe that a lot of addictions can be put blame on demons, because they coming in, they're like, okay, eat food, or smoke pot, or and like, don't get me wrong, everything in moderation is great, but it's this overconsumption. It's way too much. And like, then it switched to meth, they switched to heroin, they switched to these other drugs, they switched to hard alcohol, they get these problems. And like, hey, I'm fighting and that's why when people said, oh, I'm fighting my demons, I'm fighting this demon, these addictions, they call them demons, maybe because they are, that's what I believe it is. Now, if you have ever seen the movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves,
I was just going to bring that up.
When he crosses over into like kind of like hell,
Yep. Yeah.
Kind of what so Darren, that is kind of what it looked like. That was far more extreme when like things were just like 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 everything's going across like the sandstorm. I didn't really necessarily see a sandstorm, but it was very similar to that. It was very similar. I'm not saying that's exactly it, but if I had to pick a movie that had something very similar, I would maybe say Constantine.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up too, man. It's a great movie. I love that movie, Constantine.
I do too.
But how you describe it is basically that was what's popped in my head too, which is makes me always question these movies that we watch. Like what are they actually showing? The stuff they show us, like what part of it is actually real? Like they getting away with telling us what this world's about in little bits and pieces. How they have the Simpsons in their predictions. I can't wait for them to rip the heads off the presidents and see the aliens. So yeah, even with the Hellboy, what do you call the PB or PB? Oh man, the Bureau of Paranormal Research.
Yes.
Big Hellboy. Yeah, I'm a big Hellboy fan, and I hate to say it, but like read a comic book, it might save your life. I hate to take that from a movie, but
it's true.
It actually is.
Is that comment from the Lost Boys?
Yeah.
I knew it was somewhere. Yeah, that's where familiar.
The Frog. I think it was the Frog Brothers. The Frog Brothers.
Yeah,
like, read this comic and save your life.
Yeah, to do the voice. Yeah, that voice.
So saying that, you can really get a lot of information out of these movies and comic books. Believe it or not, even
I think sometimes they're doing it subconsciously, where they're some of them are doing it subconsciously, where they're tapping into the ether of what's actually out there. Some of them know, but some of them are just subconsciously doing it, or they're being fed this information as well.
Yep. I think it was Stephen King. Stephen King's one of them that he jokes that he has a boy's heart in his drawer. Like what kind of weird joke is that? And what he says is he actually kind of blacks out and he doesn't remember writing books. He got so bad that I think it was Cujo. He wrote Cujo, and then he's like, "Wow, this is actually a great book. Who wrote this?" And the mother or the wife looked at him like, "You wrote that, like, what are you talking about?" And he actually talks about stuff like this. Even musicians, they talk about them blacking out and making a greatest album. Yeah, dude, it's crazy, but it's really weird how they experience and what they say about it. Even I think it was the Queen Bee, whatever her name is, Beyonce. Yeah.
Okay.
She also talks about her like channeling in demons or stuff like that, dude. It's really weird.
Water spirit. Yeah, it gets pretty crazy.
There was that video where she was like doing this dance, and she was like doing like this thing with her hand, and all of a sudden she looks like a demon. Yes.
Yeah. She was trying to sue to have them take it off as well. The stills on her face. We can go on about that. Like Rihanna's cover where her body's like contorted in possible ways, where she's face down and made Baphomet with her arms and all that. It's pretty dark. You guys should look into that. It's pretty crazy. And we got John Finch right here. Oh, real quick, Darren, let's read. We're running low on time, gentlemen. John Finch says, please share and subscribe. Definitely. And Joshua's Fire 2759. This is such a great podcast. Oh, hey, thank you. We got a great guest as well. Sunglass and Grandma Cat J finally in. Hey, Miss Cat, how's it going? Hey, we got TikTok in the house. People from TikTok.
Cool.
Ruthie Castro. You're being prepared for battle. Maybe this is probably about one that I think that's that question where you saying you keep hearing someone saying look up and you look up. I think that's that question. Very interesting. Robert Masons says Masons. It says, keep up the awesome work, guys. Your weird friends at Uncanny Coffee Hour Podcast. Love to watch live. Hey, what's up?
I like that.
That's a good podcast to follow. Darren, you got to go on to their show as well. They're pretty cool guys right there for sure. And let's see here. Benno from Oz. Hey, dudes. What's up, Benno? Car Bear 9, what's good? Smiley face. You feeling better, Darren? Oh, hopefully you're feeling better.
No, I look and feel like shit. I look how I feel. So
you don't look bad. You don't look bad, Darren. You don't look bad.
Could have fooled us. Could have fooled us. Crazy Coyote 1313. That one comic I read was about air cells MIB before Will Smith got a hold of it. They taught me aliens, monster, ghosts, demons, and what to do. Ready, aim, fire. Oh shoot! I gotta check that comic book. Wow,
read a comic book, man.
Oh yeah, Crazy Coyote comes back. Tabletop Game Hammer 40K. They taught me ghosts, demons, aliens, monsters, ready, aim, fire. That is cool.
Yeah, 40K. Yes, they'll teach you a lot. Watch your dreams. Nice. Watch your dreams.
Yeah, and at Joe T. Hey guys, pretty awesome session. Oh, thank you you very much. And Darren, do we? Hey, thank you very much, Joe T. We appreciate that. This is gonna go to our live investigation next week. I'll be in Farmington Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Darren will join me possibly Thursday. Everyone will slide in on Thursday, but I'll be there a little early to scout out the area and look around the river. But thank you very much. That will go to good use.
Tell me about your guys' live investigation. That sounds cool.
Oh yeah. They got, we got a group of like-minded individuals, and that's a unique thing to have. Talk about, free of, feel comfortable talking about stuff like this, and I think that's a rare trait, and just to have these people as call them friends is it's a real pleasure. It's a real treat to have like-minded individuals. So. I can't wait myself. Get away from work and do some investigations.
Yep, the live investigation is going to be with multiple locals there that had stories that shared with me of an uncle getting ripped apart by a dogman, limb to limb, and thrown all over. And the wife and the daughter survived it. They ran around the dogman while he's ripping up the husband. They ran around him and ran to the local family that lived there. And Men in Black came and they locked down the whole area, took everyone's phone and covered up. And another family or another local has the same deal with leprechaun, little people, gargoyle, Bigfoot, and dogmen around the San Juan River. And we're going to be also meeting with Randy Caveman Yazzie, old school Navajo cryptid investigator, one of the legends, and possibly Brenda Harris. So these guys are been doing these a long time. So these guys are legends in our book. So hopefully we get to meet with them, and we're going to be on live on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and also Roku TV. We'll be out at night along the river, checking out different places, multiple places. We'll be filming as well in getting ready our documentary. So everything's going to be documented as well, and we'll have fun doing all that for everybody.
Cool. That sounds amazing. I would love to do that. To have people around to do that. I think that's fantastic.
Oh yeah. You build them, they come. You build a perfect environment, and you invite other fellow warriors, and they'll answer the call. And that's what we got. So everyone has their own stories as well, so which is pretty good. And some of them are willing to come on to other podcasts, and some of them are still they're still having a hard time talking about things with everyone.
Of course,
but it's all good though. we'll hopefully film them all.
This area is actually where I seen the had the encounter with that dog man. That's where this area is. It's really strange. It's super weird place, and I'm pretty sure the whole town has something to say about it. As for why and how, well, come along with the ride and we'll figure it out. That's the best thing we can do. So
hopefully we can catch centaur. That'd be cool. That'd be a good treat for everyone. Well, we have our gear, we have our FLIR, we have our night vision, GoPros, spotlight. So, and we'll be live streaming the entire time. So, stay tuned.
I definitely want to check that out.
Please. We're running low on time again. Rye, can you let everyone know where to find you, please?
Of course. You can find me on YouTube, everywhere, Spotify, Facebook, and it's Rye the Codega. And the show is Codega's Codex of Curiosities.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Rye. And Mr. Rye, thank you for your time. And Darren and I, we are willing to go on to your show, double trouble, double D's, with Rye.
That's what I want. That's That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Darren, you got any final questions for Mr. Rye?
Thank you for telling us more about you. I think it was a really unique story, not even a story, it's just life. Your life is just really strange, just like myself and Don right here, and I'm pretty sure we could toss the ball back and forth, and
like compare stories and compare notes on certain things. There's so much that there's a lot of things I haven't even talked about as well. There's just it's a life of high strangeness. I feel that some of us really, and I think maybe a lot more people have these experiences, but some people don't actually experience it. They're in the mix, but maybe they just don't look. They just missed it, or this happens, and they just brush it off. Oh, that wasn't paranormal. The light turning on and off in the middle of the night. I don't know. I don't know what that was.
I missed it. Sounds like you have more things that you gotta let off your chest. It sounds like we gotta get ready for what? September 20th, September 22nd is my next available date. But we'll definitely get together.
I'm game. I have a lot. I have a lot more. Yes.
Okay. I'll put you down September 20th if you don't mind.
Yeah,
I know it's a long way, but everyone will.
But that's awesome that you guys are booking that far. And for me, it's like maybe a month, 2 months ahead. But that is awesome. So you said September 20th?
Yes, sir. September 20th.
I think I'm good for that.
Okay, definitely. I'll put you down.
It was such a.
Well, gentlemen, I want to say thank you so much for having me on. It was my pleasure to be on your guys' show. I do enjoy you guys' content. You guys are great.
Oh, hey, likewise, brother. Likewise. When I'm at work, I like to listen to your podcast as well. I'm like, oh man, that's a fire new intro right there.
Yeah, my new intro is kind of crazy. I decided to redo the intro and give it a new flip. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, definitely. But thank you for your time and all your knowledge and sharing your journey with us. As always, welcome to the family. You're officially part of the family, our family now.
I appreciate that greatly. Thank you, boys.
Awesome, awesome. We'll read. Oh, Darren, you were gonna say something?
Oh no, thank you for your time, and the conversation was free. The flow was nice, and we all capable of talking about the same subject. And we all everybody has their ideas, and it's good. You have ears to hear, and it's good to listen and talk about stuff like this because it's difficult. As for you, how you explained it, like who do I go to? I can't talk about this, So
yeah,
thank you, Justin.
It's true. It's true. It's very difficult. And in the end, my ideas or my speculation are just that. It's just me speculating what I think I saw or what I think is going on. It doesn't mean I'm no expert. And that's one thing I will say. If someone claims to be an expert, then I'd start questioning them because we're not experts. We can just do our best to try figuring things out. And once we actually start getting answers, then maybe I can be an expert. Maybe someone can be an expert at that point.
Yeah. Miss Sunglass and Grandma Cat, his podcast is called Codega's Codex of Curiosities. You can find that on YouTube and Spotify. And to your question, Miss Kat, yes, you are more than welcome to join. We do need bait. You know, that's very needy of us. We need bait. Or enticing. You'll be enticing. Let me rephrase that. Car Bear says, "Holy shiz." Jason Fitch, good night, everyone in the chat. He comes back, says, "Please don't whistle at night, ladies and gentlemen." Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For sure.
Oh, right there's his name, everyone. Right there's the name of the show, Codega's Codex of Curiosities. And Mr. Codega, I and Darren would like to say thank you again for your time and your stories, your journey with us. We appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate it too. Thank you so much, Don and Darren.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be closing out the show. Do you want to give one more last shout out to let everyone know where to find your show, please?
Of course, everyone. You can find me at Codega's Codex of Curiosities on YouTube or on I'm on TikTok too, but I don't really use it that much. But YouTube, Spotify, Rumble. That's where you'll find me. And if you're looking for me on Facebook, it's Rye Voss.
Okay. Hey, message me on your TikTok handle so I can tag you on the shorts I'm going to make.
100%.
All right.
I will. All right, Don.
All right. We'll see you on the other side, Rye. Thank you. All right. All right, Darren. You going to say later to everyone? Okay, Darren. Something happened to Darren. All right, guys. You guys stay classy. You guys stay safe and stay smart. And remember, stay weird and don't whistle at night. You guys have a great one.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Don will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.